That looks like pears, Grandmama.
It is pears. Roy and I have been, we've made a video on pear pickles. I haven't uploaded it yet, and on that one I show you how we peel our pears, how we went out to the pear tree, gathered them, and how I cut them. Well, today I am making pear pie filling, pear pie mix. And so I've got my jars, I'm gonna can it, and I've got my jars sterilizing in here. And I've got about 12 cups of pears, and I found out, well, really it's 14 cups, because when I cook these, they're gonna cook down a little bit. It takes 12 cups to make 5 quarts. That's what it did the other day in my pear pickle. But today, since I'm gonna cook these until they get done, they're gonna cook down some, so I've got about 14 cups of pears in here. Well, not in this one. I've got some in the one in the back because they wouldn't all go in here. And I'm gonna make us a pear cobbler today anyway. So in this, in my pot here, and y'all know this is my pot that was my granny's and my mama's. I'm gonna put about a cup of water. Let me get some more, honey.
Okay.
And in this one back here, I'm going to put that's about a half a cup. You don't put much water because you want your pears to keep all that natural flavor. So you put very little water in here. And to this, now this is going to be sugar-free. But now you can add sugar using the same recipe that I use. For my sweetener, you can just use sugar instead. So I have got 2 cups, and I may have to add more when it cooks a little while. I'll check it and see if it's sweet enough. I've got 1 cup of white sweetener, and I've got 1 cup of dark brown sweetener. Now this is like dark brown sugar here. And if you can see it, it looks like dark brown sugar. Even the consistency of it does. So I'm going to put this in. And I'm probably gonna need some more. But if I do, I've got it over here, and I'll use the white, not the dark.
So what kind of sweeteners did you use?
Today I used brown swerve, and I used erythritol. No, stevia.
Stevia.
But
okay.
if I need to add some, I'll add erythritol. Because the stevia doesn't work for me well when I bake, but it does when I'm making things like cobblers or things like that. But stevia just doesn't work for me. I don't like the texture that it gives when I bake with it. So I usually keep pure cane, I keep swerve, I keep monk fruit, I keep erythritol, because they all work for me, they all work differently, and I really love the pure cane. But for baking. Now I don't use it because it's a little pricey. I don't use it when I do things like this because this other works just as well. So, and I'm going to put a little butter in this. That's probably, I'm going to put that's probably 3 tablespoons of butter. And so I'm putting it on medium high, and I'm just going to let it cook, let it come up to temp, and I'm going to let it cook. And I'm going to put a cover this, because when you cover it, it makes those juices come out more, and it keeps it from your juices from evaporating. So when you cover it, so once it starts cooking, I'm going to turn it down to about 4, which is medium low on my stove, and I'll let it cook until it gets tender. And I'm going to do the same thing with this little pot back here. So the one it's going to be done just like this one is. So I just wanted to bring y'all along with me this morning and let you see how I make my pear pie mix, pear pie filling. So we'll be back in just a little bit. it's about lunchtime, and I've got me and Roy an eggplant lasagna in the oven that we're gonna have for lunch. So this is gonna cook through lunch. It'll take it probably 45 minutes maybe to cook. So at that time, then we'll come back and I'll show you what we're gonna do next.
All right.
I've after we turned it off, I looked around. I said, "Shoot, I forgot my spices." So in this, I'm gonna put. Roy says, "I'll stir it for you." Well, when he started stirring it, I looked around and my spices were not in there. So we like ours really spicy. We like a lot of like cinnamon and cloves. So I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons in here, and I'm gonna put about half a tablespoon in the back one. Now I make my own spice. I've got some apple pie spice. I don't like pumpkin pie spice, so I make my own. It's just cinnamon, allspice, and cloves. That's what we like. I don't put ginger. I don't put nutmeg in it. We're not fond of nutmeg, and I only use ginger in certain things. So instead of having every time I use a lot of spice, especially in the fall and the winter time. So I just made up my own, and this morning, so instead of having to get out all 3 containers, I just get my one out, and I know the ratio of how much cinnamon to allspice to cloves that I like. So, all right, I just want to bring y'all back and show you about the amount of spice that I put in mine. And when I taste of it, if it's not quite enough, then I'll add a little bit more. But I think this is gonna be good. It looks like it's about the right amount. So see y'all in a little.
I always said a pie mix in the jar is a future pie on the table.
That's right, or a cobbler, or muffins, or
Whatever you do. Or those little half pies, what do you call those?
Fried apple pie.
Fried pear pies.
Fried
Woo!
peach pies.
Gracious.
Okay, to this, I did add another cup of sweetener, and I added 1 more tablespoon of spice. And then I added 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I mixed it in a little water, and it made my juice, come over here, honey, let me show them. It made my juice a little thick. Not real thick, but it's just a little thick, just like that. And that's the way I like mine. I've seen on some of these other channels, they do it really thick. I don't like it like that, because I like to have a little juice in mine. So I've got my jars sterilized, and we're just gonna fill them up. And then I'm gonna hot water bath these for 15 minutes. So I didn't get them really done. I mean, they are done, but they're just not real soft, because I'm gonna cook them another 15 minutes in a hot water bath. So, and I didn't want to I didn't want them to get mushy. So I'm gonna get a spoon. Now these are hot jars. I just took them out of the hot water behind me. Okay. All right. Let me get my dishcloth here. Let me get another one.
Now we put up pears 3 different ways. We put them up as pie filling, we put them up as pickles, and we put them up as whole or, whole halves, or even sliced. But the reason for that is because you can never tell these days what the fruit market is going to be. The fruit may go sky high. It may not even be available. You know, we've seen all kinds of things happen. But we put up enough pears so that we can have fruit every week in one source, and our pears are free and the price isn't going up on our pears.
Okay, I cleaned my lid, and I did it finger tight, but you know what? I forget this about every time. Honey, let me get a knife. I want to debubble this. I don't think there's any bubbles in it, but you can't ever be sure. And it's better to be safe than sorry. So just run your knife down in there and press against your fruit, and there were no bubbles. That gets all those bubbles out. So I'll put my lid back on it. Well, I better clean it first. Okay, I'll put my lid back on it and my band, and I'll set it over here. I'll do another one.
She's gonna put it back in a hot bath, but she wants to
Yeah,
do that all at the same time.
Yes, yeah, I do. So, okay. This is gonna make some good pear pie or pear cobbler. Ooh, look at all that good juice. And I like a good bit of juice in mine. You can, if you like yours not this with this much juice, you can cook it down farther. That's just up to you. And I'm leaving an inch head space here.
This is instant pie mix in a jar.
It sure is. All you have to do, and I took one out the other day that I did last year before our pears got ready. And I'm telling you, I made us a pear crisp is what I made the other day.
It was delicious.
Now, I'm going to make a cobbler today out of my keto crust. And it's the same way I make my keto waffles, my keto pancakes, keto biscuit. I just add a little sweetener to it. And it makes a very good crust. I made a pot pie the other day, and I put that crust on it, and it was so good.
She is telling the truth.
So
It was good.
it's on my channel, so all you got to do is go and look up gluten-free chicken pot pie, and it's under Grandma Rose's Open Pantry. So we're going to do another one. So I'm just going to keep filling these, and when I get them all done, then I'll come back with you and I'll show you how many we had and how I put them in my hot water bath. I still got my water. It's on back there. It's on medium high. I'm just keeping it really hot. And I've got a couple more jars in it because I wasn't sure that I was going to have enough here. Because a couple of these are not quite quarts. Like this one is I forget what kind of jar that is.
That's an almost quart.
But yeah, and this one is,
It was this spaghetti sauce jar.
yeah. But the top reseals on it, so I keep those jars. If they will reseal, I keep them.
If the test is when you put them in the hot water bath, do they seal or not? If they
That's right.
seal, you've got it sealed.
That's right. So, all right. An inch head space, and I've showed y'all that before. It's from the bottom rim here to the top of your jar. And remember, when you're cleaning your jar, your lid, go around, make sure there's no chips, no cracks anywhere on your jar, because if there is, it will not seal.
Yeah, I found one this morning
Yeah.
when I was washing some jars.
Yeah, so
I found one.
we'll just have to either chunk that, or I don't like for Roy to use them out with the garden and things because glass breaks. Now he uses some of my things to put like little nails and screws and all in, but glass is easy to break. So
Peanut butter jars are
Yeah.
real good for putting little small screws and
Yeah.
small nails out in the shop.
out here we use, we'll use like we buy peanuts in the big jar, they're plastic.
Oh my, those are nice.
We use it for seeds because they seal, And Roy put his garden seeds in them for the next year. And we use peanut butter jars. We use all kinds of things. That way
Keeps your nails dry.
we don't have to, you know, we don't have to go to town and buy special containers for all his things. So we are just, what you call that, frugal?
Yeah,
Is that what you call that?
yeah. Broke is another term for it.
We're very frugal in using what we got. So, okay. Now I'm going to clean around my lid. Now this is hot water. I did these in the microwave. I just made my water hot in the microwave today. So, okay. All right, that's 4. Honey, I think I'm going to get, instead of using this one,
You need a full quart.
yeah, I'm going to get a full quart out of here.
We basically cut up about nearly 6 quarts, didn't we? So that when they're
It
cooked,
was-
we'd have 5.
Well, it was, we cut up about 18 cups, but I had 14 in here because I'm going to make a cobbler.
Okay.
Out of the ones that are left. So we cut up enough for the cobbler. So there's 14 cups,
All right.
which makes 5 quarts.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
You want to spin this to the end?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm almost through here.
All right.
Oh, baby, we may have to, if we don't have a cobbler, we're going to have to cut up some more. I'll just make us a small one. Just a real small cobbler. Cody eats a little bit of sweets, but he doesn't eat much sweets. Okay. I'm gonna have just about enough juice. Alright, that's gonna be a really small cobbler, baby. Okay. Now let me clean my lid. And get my all right. Now come around on this side, honey.
Okay.
And let me get this jar out. Okay, I'll just take it out. Put it to the side. I've got a little lid in there. It'll be all right though. Okay, I did my jars finger tight. Now I'm fixing to put them in my hot water. And I'm gonna turn my water back up. And I'm gonna let them come to a boil, and then I'm gonna let them boil for 15 minutes. And when I do that, and you always want, I've told you before, you always want about 2 inches over the top of your jars. So that's about 2 inches. I'm gonna put, as you can see, it's,
You can already see the water bubbling out
yeah,
of
yeah.
the out of the jars.
So I'm gonna put my lid on it, and I've got it on high because this is a small burner. I've got it on high, so I'll be back with y'all in 15 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer. Be back with y'all in 15 minutes when this gets ready.
Uh-oh, Grandmama, you've taken them out of the hot water bath.
Now you talk about something good.
Pear Pie, instantly available from your jars in your pantry.
Look at that. Now that is something good right there.
You talk about it.
And I've got a pear pie in the oven. It's not quite ready. But honey, you can come over here.
Okay.
It's got about 10 more minutes.
Oh, me. See what you can do with this
Can you
stuff.
see that? some of my juice cooked over on my crust.
Looks like the crust is missing, but it's not. The juice is just up there.
Yeah.
I'm
And my
telling you.
jars have already started sealing. So this is so good right here. And you probably can see a little rust around this ring right here. But that doesn't affect your, because I use my rings from year to year to year.
Until they wear out.
Yeah, it doesn't affect it at all. All it does is hold that lid on. And when it seals and cools off, then I'll take the ring off and I'll put it in a bag and I'll use it next time. So this, can you hear it popping?
Yep.
So that is what, when you hear that sound, you go, that's nice. Because
Success.
Success. Yes, all your jars have sealed and you're going to have some delicious pear cobblers, pear pies. Now, when I make my little pear tarts, what we call pear tarts,
Oh,
the
yeah.
little hand pies, little fried pies, I will cook this down a little bit more because I want it thick. So I'll cook a lot of that juice out. But when you make a pear cobbler, you just open the jar, pour it in, put your crust on it, whatever kind of crust you want. This is delicious. So
I'm telling you.
it
Sugar-free and just out of
yes,
this world.
and just delicious. So
Yeah.
I hope y'all have enjoyed this video.
Oh, show them that other thing you took out of the stove. You weren't going to show them that.
Well, no,
Tell them, yeah, but it's all right.
I wasn't.
It's delicious.
It is eggplant lasagna. So,
Eggplant lasagna.
yep, eggplant lasagna. So, but thank y'all for joining me today, and I just want to show y'all how you can have delicious food on your pantry, instant, ready to go. All you have to do is open a jar, put it in a bowl, put a topping on it, whether it's crumb topping, that's the brown sugar, flour, butter, whether it's the crumb topping, whether it is a crust. You can use this for pie, apple pie. You just fix your crust or buy your crust, pour it in it, put your other crust on, put a second crust on top. There's just so many ways you can use this. Now, I'll tell you how Roy and I, a lot of times, we eat this for breakfast. I will make us an egg, and usually a fried egg when we have this, and I'll just open a jar of this, and we just eat it like stewed apples, but this is pears.
On her keto biscuits or pancakes or waffles,
so good.
they are absolutely delicious.
So we use this in so many different ways. But thank y'all for joining me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the little notification bell that notifies you when I'm uploading a video. And share this video, please, and give me a thumbs up. See y'all next time.